You are listening to the Embrace the Mud podcast, where we discuss all things related to healthy, joyful, and life giving relationships. Why focus on relationships? Because the quality of our intimate partnerships and close connections influences our health, happiness, and longevity more than anything else in our lives. Relationships matter a lot, so together, let's jump into the mud, aka our messy relationships, pull some weeds, plant some seeds, and create an enriching environment where strong relationships can take root. I am your grateful host, Dara. I am a recovering relational disaster working toward relational mastery. I am a certified positive psychology coach and relationship mindset coach at Mud Coaching. I work with teens and adults from all over the world, and I am ecstatic to get to talk to you about the one thing that lights my fire more than anything else in life, and that is learning how to create healthy, joyful, life giving relationships that we all desire to have. So let's dive in. Today on the Embrace the Mud podcast, we are going to be diving into a very common issue in romantic relationships: unmet needs, and how to deal with a situation where your needs are not being fulfilled in your partnership or another relationship. I have decided to turn this subject into a 4-part series because I realize that this is a very common and frustrating issue, and one that causes many people to anguish in frustration and eventually even question whether or not they want to stay in their relationship. So I want to do the topic justice and really get into the nitty-gritty of what's going on and what can be done about it. In this series, we'll talk about emotional needs specifically and what they are. We'll talk about the most common reasons needs aren't met in relationships. And we will also cover what to do and what not to do when you are dealing with unmet relational needs. Because some of the common strategies actually create dynamics where needs will almost certainly continue to go unmet, or will be met only temporarily, or will be inconsistently met, which will lead to a roller coaster of emotion as a felt sense of safety and security fluctuates in the relationship. What I've learned through my own experience and in my experience as a relational mindset coach is that the unfulfilled partner, which I have been many times in both romantic and other relationships, has far more power to rectify this discrepancy that we call unmet needs than they normally realize they do. It's basically a matter of identifying the root cause of the issue and addressing it directly. So I am going to tackle the primary reasons why emotional needs in particular go unmet one at a time in each part of the series. Today in part 1, I'm going to unpack the first and most common reason emotional needs go unfulfilled in relationships. And that is a lack of true understanding and clarity about what you actually need from your partner. Do you know what it is that you actually need versus what you want in your relationship? Well, you are about to find out. And you might want to pause this right now and go grab a piece of paper and a pen, because I am going to give you a 4-step strategy for getting super clear on your own emotional needs. Here's what I see all the time and what I have personally experienced as well. You're frustrated because you're feeling a lack in the relationship. You need more. And so what do? Well, you begin demanding more time, more attention, more effort, more interest or curiosity. And sometimes, maybe even all of the time, you do so by complaining. You might say things like, "You don't try as hard as you used to," or "You give your job 100% and only give our relationship whatever energy is left over." "You expect me to plan all of the activities in our relationship." "You're so focused on the negative, you don't even notice the nice things that I do for you." "You don't take me out on dates anymore. Everything seems more important to you than this relationship. You only call when you need something. Otherwise, I never hear from you." You might go beyond complaining and even criticize or judge, especially if your complaints go unheard. And that might sound like, "You are so on it at work, but so lazy when it comes to us." "Oh, you're so controlling. Why do you have to micromanage everything that I do?" "John takes Jane on dates every single week. Why can't you be as romantic as John is?" "You are so self-absorbed. Everything is always about you." Let's talk about what is happening here at a deeper level. First, a question. What usually sort of causes a person to become aware that they need more? Like they need more time or effort or attention from their spouse or partner? What's the signal that their needs aren't being met? When we think about our physical needs as humans, we get signals like hunger or thirst that alert us about an unmet need. My stomach is growling and feels empty. Oh, I need to eat some food or drink some water. Or if we're a baby, cry so that someone will bring us food and meet our body's need for nourishment. So what are the signals that alert us that there is an emotional need that needs to be met? One such signal is a sense of disconnection. When we just don't feel a sense of closeness, we don't feel a strong bond. Instead, we might feel distance, and that hurts. And once we notice, we want to seek to rectify that by reestablishing connection. Another signal is a lack of safety or security. We may feel uneasy, and that is a big signal as well. And a third common clue that we have unmet needs is not feeling like a priority to our partner or to a friend or family member. We begin wondering if we truly matter to this other person. Some emotional signals that correlate with feeling insignificant, disconnected, or insecure are anger, sadness, loneliness, resentment, and anxiety. So there are these three core needs that we all have: the need for connection, the need for significance, knowing that we matter, and the need for safety or a sense of security emotionally. When these needs are adequately met, we feel loved and confident in the relationship, and we are fulfilled and satisfied, and there's no need to be like hyper-focused on the relationship or worried or concerned about it. We feel close, we feel safe, and we know that we matter. We're good. And this state of fulfillment gives us a lot of energy and freedom to focus on all of the other things that we have going on in our lives and everything else that matters to us. As I mentioned, these three core needs are something we each sense. But how do we arrive there? How do you, for example, come to experience a sense of connection with a partner or friend? What specifically makes you feel connected and close? Or what gives you the impression and therefore the sense that you matter to someone? Or that you are safe with them? The way other people act and behave toward us enables us to have these core needs met and ultimately makes us feel loved. And the specific actions and behaviors that make me feel connected to someone may be different from what makes you feel connected. The idea of love languages pops up into my mind here. I personally feel close to my partner when I feel appreciated by him. I feel safe when I feel heard and understood, and I feel significant when I am given undivided attention on a consistent basis. Times when we're focusing on each other, no phones, no devices, no distractions. While we all have these three universal core needs, there is a list of what I call actionable needs that people have, but that vary in impact from person to person. For instance, someone may find it impossible to feel close and connected to a partner without a good amount of physical affection. Where for another person, affection is nice, but it doesn't fulfill a deeper core need. For them, maybe being supported or encouraged is far more important, or feeling included is a critical emotional need that they have. So here is a list of actionable needs that people commonly rely on to have their core needs adequately met so that they can experience a felt sense that they are loved and valued in relationships. If you want to do the needs clarification exercise I'm going to walk you through in a little while, you will want to write these down. Okay, so examples of actionable needs are attention, affection, acceptance, affirmation, appreciation, compassion, curiosity, devotion, encouragement, inclusion, respect, support, validation, and vulnerability. Now, this is, not by any means like a complete list. There are other ways that you can language the needs that you recognize that you have, but this is what I fundamentally sort of consider as the core actionable needs. And then there are the three core fundamental needs that we mentioned earlier. So let's go back to the common complaint of everything seems more important to you than this relationship. It would seem to me that the core need of significance is unfulfilled here because the person with this complaint isn't receiving whatever they need to feel like a priority to their spouse. The key word that gives that away here is important. What they are really saying is, I'm not feeling important to you. But why? Well, perhaps they aren't receiving the attention they need, or they aren't seeing the signs of devotion from their partner that lead to a sense of significance. Fair enough. So what do they want to have happen so that they will feel important, so that their core need for a sense of significance is met? Maybe what they want is for their partner to contact them more often throughout the day, or to take the lead on planning time together. Maybe they want more reflective listening in their conversations, or more words of encouragement during times of struggle. All of this is valid, and all of this is their own responsibility. In addition to the lack of clarity about what we actually want and need in relationships, the mindset that it's someone else's responsibility to meet our needs is also problematic. The fact is, we have to clarify and own our own needs fully, and then seek help in getting those needs met. Part of taking responsibility for our own needs is to make them known and to go to reliable sources for fulfillment, to people who are willing and able to help us get our needs met. When we are feeling unfulfilled, we can help ourselves by asking ourselves a few pertinent questions. First, have I made my needs clear to myself? Have I made my needs clear to the other person, and have they agreed to help? Have they demonstrated that they are capable of meeting my needs? And have I done my part to help them meet my needs? We'll dig deeper into the last 3 questions in the next few episodes, but for today, let's focus on the first question. Am I crystal clear on what it is that I need from my partner and from the relationship? If you aren't sure, or if the answer is clearly no, here is a needs clarification exercise that you can do to change that. Step 1. On a sheet of paper, create 3 columns, and at the top of each one, write the 3 core needs: connection, safety, and significance. Off to the side, in the margin, or on a separate piece of paper, write down the list of actionable needs that I shared a bit earlier. Step 2. Call to mind 1 or 2 of the strongest, most fulfilling relationships you have in your life or have had. Who do you trust completely that makes you feel safe? Who do you feel very close and connected to? Who makes you feel like you matter to them, that you are truly important? Now, think about what they do that gives you that sense of significance, connection, and safety. Use the list of actionable needs to help you identify these things. Step 3. Under each core need, write down 2 to 3 actionable needs that you realize fulfill that particular core need for you. And step 4, write down the particular ways in which you enjoy receiving those actionable needs. How specifically do you enjoy being given attention or acceptance, validation, or experiencing vulnerability from another person? Saying I need more attention is too vague. Instead, get honest about what it is you want exactly. Like, I want to spend at least 15 minutes talking to each other every night without the TV on before bed. Or I want us to eat our meals without any phones in sight. Or I would love to hear more compliments. Once you have completed this practice, you can identify what core needs aren't being fulfilled and why. Then you can formulate a way to communicate that without blame or judgment. That could sound like, when you read your text messages at the table, I feel hurt because my need for attention isn't being met, and that makes it hard for me to feel connected to you. Would you be willing to put your phone away at dinner time? I will do the same. Also, look for ways that your needs are being met and communicate that to your partner as well. Like, when you meet me at the door after work with a hug and a smile, it feels so good because it gives me the sense that I really matter to you. You know just how to give me attention in the way that I need it. Thank you for the way that you love me. When you're clear on your needs, then you can focus on needs-based communication and sufficiently ask for what you need and reinforce when your needs are being met so that your partner knows what's actually working. We will get deeper into how to make your needs clear to your partner and others in your life in part 2 of the Dealing with Unmet Needs series. A few final thoughts before we wrap this episode up. First, remember that your needs are your responsibility, and other people, including your partner, are helping you meet your needs. Take full ownership of what you require in order to feel loved and fulfilled in your relationships. Second, be vulnerable with yourself. Focus on how you truly feel. Get beyond the anger and frustration to see what's underneath that. Many people are unclear about their needs because they're out of touch with themselves for various reasons. Take the opportunity to tune in and to continue to practice self-attunement moving forward. And finally, give yourself the gift of clarity around your needs so that you can communicate about them with confidence and give yourself the best chance at experiencing fulfillment and intimacy in your relationships. Okay, that's it for today, folks. Thank you for listening to the Embrace the Mud podcast, where we discuss all things related to healthy, joyful, life-giving relationships. I look forward to being back here with you again next week.